Michael Jackson was born on August 29th, 1958, in a small city called Gary, Indiana, in the United States. Gary is not a big city, but it was where Michael began his journey to becoming one of the most famous musicians in the world. Michael was the eighth child in his family. His father's name was Joe Jackson, and his mother's name was Catherine Jackson. Joe worked very hard at a steel mill to take care of his family. Catherine stayed at home and took care of their many children. From a very young age, Michael loved music. His mother, Catherine, often played the guitar and sang songs with the children. Music was always in the air at the Jackson home. Michael would listen to his mother play, and he would sing along. He loved music so much that he began to sing whenever he could. He showed great interest in learning how to sing, and he was very good at it. Michael's father, Joe, saw that Michael and his brothers had a lot of talent for music. Joe wanted his children to become famous, and he decided to train them to be musicians. He worked hard to teach them how to sing and dance, pushing them to practice every day. Michael was only 5 years old when he started practicing with his older brothers. His brothers' names were Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon. They formed a group called the Jackson 5, and Michael, even though he was the youngest, became the lead singer. His voice was very strong, and people loved hearing him sing. The Jackson family didn't have a lot of money, but they loved music and worked hard to improve. They practiced singing and dancing in their small living room for hours every day. Michael and his brothers worked together as a team. They were determined to become successful. In 1968, when Michael was just 10 years old, something amazing happened. The Jackson 5 signed a contract with Motown, a famous music company. This was a huge opportunity for the group. Michael and his brothers moved to California to start a new chapter of their lives. They were excited but also nervous because they were still so young. The family worked hard to make their music perfect for Motown. In 1969, the Jackson 5 released their first album, Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5, which was a big success. The first song from the album, I Want You Back, became a huge hit. It reached #1 on the charts. People loved the song, and they loved Michael's voice. The Jackson 5 became very famous. They performed on television and toured all over the United States. Michael was becoming a star. Even though he was still just a child, he loved performing, and people loved watching him sing and dance. Even though Michael was part of the Jackson 5, he knew that he wanted more for his future. He loved being with his brothers, but he dreamed of becoming a solo artist. He wanted to make his own music and show the world his unique style. He knew that he could do something special on his own, and he hoped people would love his music just as much as they loved the songs with the Jackson 5. Michael's early life was full of hard work. He learned how to sing, dance, and perform at a very young age. His family supported him, and his father, Joe, pushed him to be the best. Even though Michael had many challenges, he never gave up. He worked hard, and he believed in his dreams. His time with the Jackson 5 taught him many important lessons. He learned how to perform in front of large crowds and how to work as part of a team. But as he grew older, Michael realized that he needed to follow his own path. He wanted to create his own music and express himself in new ways. This would be the beginning of his solo career. The Jackson 5 gave Michael Jackson the opportunity to develop his skills, but he knew that his true future was in making music on his own. As a solo artist, he could create his own style and share his personal thoughts and feelings through his songs. Michael learned the importance of hard work, believing in himself, and never giving up on his dreams. Michael's story is about much more than just music. It is about following your passion, working hard, and believing that you can achieve your goals. From a young boy in Gary, Indiana, Michael Jackson dreamed of becoming a superstar. With the support of his family, Michael began a journey that would lead him to become one of the most famous artists in the world. As Michael grew up and began his solo career, he knew that achieving his dreams would take time and effort, but he was ready. He was full of energy, talent, and ambition. He was about to show the world that his dreams were not just dreams. They were the beginning of something amazing. Michael Jackson was ready to take the next step, and the world was about to witness his incredible rise to stardom. The Jackson 5 was a famous music group that included Michael Jackson and his four older brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon. They grew up in Gary, Indiana, a small city near Chicago. Although they lived in a modest home, their talent in music would take them far. The Jackson 5 became one of the most popular music groups in the world, and their success came from hard work and determination. Michael was only 6 years old when he joined the group. He was the youngest, but his voice was strong and full of energy. He quickly became the lead singer of the group. People loved to hear Michael sing. He had a special voice that made him stand out. The Jackson 5 practiced a lot. They spent many hours in their small living room, learning how to sing and dance. They worked as a team, and they all wanted to be the best. In 1968, when Michael was just 10 years old, the Jackson 5 signed a contract with Motown Records, a very famous music company. Motown had helped make many artists famous, like Diana Ross and Stevie Wonder. The Jackson 5 moved to California to begin their new life with Motown. They were excited, but also nervous because they were so young. The family worked hard to make their music sound perfect. In 1969, the Jackson 5 released their first big hit, a song called I Want You Back. The song was a huge success. It became #1 on the charts. People all over the world loved the song, and it helped the group become famous. The Jackson 5 performed on television and in many cities. Michael's voice and energy on stage made the group stand out. The Jackson 5 became a household name, and Michael was the star of the group. The Jackson 5's first album was called Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5. It was released in 1969, and it was a great success. The album included songs like I Want You Back, which made the group even more famous. The Jackson 5 continued to release hit songs, such as ABC and I'll Be There. These songs made them popular in the United States and all around the world. The group performed for large crowds and became known in many countries. As the Jackson 5's popularity grew, they began performing in other countries. They went to places like Japan, England, and many more countries. Fans around the world loved their music, and the Jackson 5 became an international sensation. Michael's voice was one of the reasons for their success. People loved the way he sang, and he became a star in his own right, despite their success. Life for the Jackson 5 wasn't always easy. They worked very hard, and sometimes it was tough for them as young children. Their father, Joe Jackson, was very strict with them. He wanted them to be the best, so he made them practice for long hours every day. Sometimes, Michael and his brothers didn't get to play or do normal kid things. They were always focused on their music. But even though it was hard, the Jackson 5 became one of the most famous music groups in the world. Michael, as the lead singer, became the star of the group. People loved his talent, his voice, and his energy. Everywhere the Jackson 5 went, people wanted to see Michael perform. Even though he was still a child, he had already learned what it meant to be a performer. He worked very hard, and he began to get a lot of attention. In the early 1970s, the Jackson 5 started to move away from the music style that made them famous. They wanted to grow as artists and make music that was more personal to them. This led them to leave Motown Records and sign a new contract with Epic Records. They changed their name to the Jacksons and began to create their own music. This marked a new chapter in their career. While Michael was still part of the Jackson 5, he began to feel that it was time for him to follow his own path. He wanted to express himself in a way that was different from the group. He wanted to create music that was more personal to him. Michael began to focus on his solo career while still performing with his brothers. Although the Jackson 5's fame was starting to fade in the mid-1970s, Michael's career was just beginning. He had big dreams for his future, and he was determined to make them come true. The Jackson 5 gave Michael the tools he needed to become a great performer, but now he was ready to take the next step on his own. The Jackson 5 helped Michael Jackson become a successful performer. Their success gave him confidence and showed him how to connect with an audience. But Michael knew that he needed to start his own journey. He wanted to create his own music, make his own decisions, and be known for his own style. This would be the start of his solo career and the beginning of Michael Jackson's rise to becoming one of the greatest artists of all time. After years of being in the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson decided it was time to go solo. Although he loved being with his brothers, Michael felt that he had more to offer the world as a solo artist. He wanted to express his own ideas and create music that was personal to him. He knew this would be a big challenge, but Michael was ready for it. In 1972, Michael released his first solo album, Got to Be There. He was only 14 years old, but his voice was already strong and full of energy. The album had songs like Got to Be There and Rockin' Robin, which became hits. People began to realize that Michael Jackson was more than just the lead singer of the Jackson 5. He was an incredible artist on his own. Even though his first album was successful, Michael knew he could do more. He wanted to create music that was unique and would show the world who he really was. He began working on a new album, and in 1979 he released Off the Wall. This album was a big change from his earlier music. It was full of pop, soul, and disco sounds, and it was much more personal. Michael worked closely with Quincy Jones, a famous music producer, to make the album sound amazing. Off the Wall was a huge success. Songs like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You became very popular and reached the top of the music charts. These songs showed Michael's amazing talent as a singer and dancer. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough even won Michael his first Grammy Award. This was a big moment in Michael's solo career, and it helped him gain more fans around the world. Michael's success with Off the Wall made it clear that he was ready to become one of the biggest stars in the music world, but he wasn't finished yet. Michael knew that he had more to give, and he was determined to make his next album even bigger. He was working hard to create music that would change the world. His decision to go solo was a big step in his career, but it also helped him grow as an artist. Michael showed the world that he was not just a member of the Jackson 5. He was Michael Jackson, a talented musician who could make his own mark in the music industry. This was just the beginning of an amazing career that would make him the king of pop. In 1982, Michael Jackson released his sixth solo album, Thriller. This album would go on to become one of the most famous and best-selling albums in the history of music. With Thriller, Michael did something that no other artist had done before. He mixed pop, rock, soul, and funk music in a way that was completely new and exciting. The album's success was not just about its music. It also had a huge impact on the music industry. The way music videos were made, and the way people saw Michael Jackson as an artist. Thriller was different from anything Michael had done before. While his previous albums were already successful, this album was special. Michael worked closely with the famous music producer Quincy Jones, and together they created something amazing. The album had a total of 9 tracks, and each one was different but connected by Michael's unique sound. Some of the most popular songs from Thriller include Billie Jean, Beat It, and the title track, Thriller. These songs became huge hits, and Michael's voice and style helped make them unforgettable. One of the most famous songs from the album was Billie Jean. The song tells the story of a woman who claims that Michael is the father of her child. It was a song with a strong rhythm and a catchy beat. The song became a #1 hit and stayed at the top of the charts for weeks. Billie Jean showed Michael's ability to tell a story with his music, and his voice brought the song to life in a way that no one else could. The song became so famous that people all over the world began to know the lyrics and the melody. Another famous song from Thriller was Beat It. This song was different from Billie Jean because it had a rock influence. Michael teamed up with Eddie Van Halen, one of the greatest guitarists of all time, to create a powerful guitar solo for the song. The song's message was about avoiding violence and walking away from dangerous situations, and it had a strong message of peace. Beat It became a hit all over the world and helped Michael show his versatility as an artist. It was a mix of pop and rock music that appealed to a wide range of listeners. The title track, Thriller, was also one of the most famous songs on the album. The song became even more famous because of its music video. The video for Thriller was a groundbreaking moment in music history. It was not just a simple video of Michael singing and dancing. It was like a short film. The video had special effects, a story with zombies, and amazing dance moves. Michael's moonwalk dance, which had already become famous, was featured in the video. The video was 14 minutes long and was watched by millions of people. It set a new standard for music videos and showed the world that music videos could be more than just a way to promote songs. They could tell a story and be a work of art. Thriller was not only a big hit in the United States, the album was loved by people all over the world. Michael Jackson became a global superstar. Thriller sold millions of copies and made Michael one of the most famous and successful musicians in history. The album reached the top of the music charts in many countries and stayed there for months. Michael Jackson won 8 Grammy Awards for his work on Thriller, setting a new record. This was an incredible achievement, and it showed just how much people loved his music. The success of Thriller changed everything. Michael Jackson became more than just a pop star. He became an icon. He was known for his incredible dancing, his unique voice, and his ability to create music that crossed all boundaries. Thriller also helped Michael break down racial barriers in the music industry. At the time, music television channels like MTV didn't play many music videos by black artists. However, when Michael Jackson's Billie Jean video was played on MTV, it changed things. Michael's success on MTV helped other black artists get their music played on television. He became a role model for many other artists and opened doors for them in the music industry. The success of Thriller also had a huge impact on how music videos were made. Before Thriller, music videos were usually simple, showing the artist performing the song. But with Thriller, Michael showed the world that music videos could be much more. They could tell a story, use special effects, and have amazing choreography. The video for Thriller is still considered one of the greatest music videos of all time. The album Thriller also showed how powerful music could be. Michael's music brought people together, no matter where they were from. It didn't matter what language they spoke or where they lived. People around the world connected with Michael's music. He became a symbol of hope, unity, and change. His songs touched the hearts of millions of people, and his music would continue to inspire new generations of artists. Michael Jackson's Thriller was not just an album, it was a turning point in music history. It changed the music industry, set new standards for music videos, and made Michael Jackson a global superstar. With this album, Michael showed the world what he was capable of, and he became one of the greatest artists of all time. Michael Jackson's legacy is one of the greatest in the history of music, dance, and humanitarian work. He is remembered not only for his extraordinary talent, but also for his ability to bring people together through his music and his message of love and unity. His influence continues to inspire new generations of artists, dancers, and people all over the world. Michael's music, his dancing, and his charity work have left an indelible mark on the world, making him a true icon. One of the most unforgettable aspects of Michael Jackson's legacy is his impact on music. He revolutionized pop music with his unique style and incredible vocal talent. Michael's music was more than just entertainment. It carried important messages of love, peace, and hope. His songs, like Heal the World and Man in the Mirror, spoke about social issues and encouraged people to make the world a better place. Michael's music had the power to touch the hearts of people from all walks of life. His ability to connect with his audience through his songs is one of the reasons why he remains so loved around the world. In addition to his music, Michael Jackson's dance moves are a major part of his legacy. Michael was an extraordinary dancer, and his dance moves became famous all over the world. He was known for his smooth, effortless movements and his unique style. The moonwalk became his signature move, and it amazed audiences when he first performed it in 1983 during a live television performance of Billie Jean. The moonwalk made it look as if Michael was gliding across the stage, and it instantly became one of the most famous dance moves in history. Fans all over the world tried to copy the moonwalk, but no one could do it quite like Michael. He had a way of moving that was like no one else. But Michael didn't just have one famous move, he had many. He also created the robot, the toe stand, and the sidewalk, all of which became part of his signature dance style. These moves were not only difficult to do, but they were also incredibly expressive. Michael used his body to tell a story through his dance, and he was a true master of his craft. His live performances were a combination of singing and dancing, with each movement adding to the energy and emotion of the song. Michael Jackson changed the way people thought about live performances, and his dancing set a new standard for entertainers. Michael Jackson's influence on dance went far beyond his own career. He inspired countless dancers and choreographers to push their boundaries and create their own unique styles. His dance moves were copied by artists all over the world, and his influence can still be seen in the performances of today's top stars. Michael showed that dance was not just about movement, it was about emotion, storytelling, and connection. He raised the bar for what could be achieved through dance in popular music. In addition to his music and dance, Michael Jackson's humanitarian work is an important part of his legacy. He was deeply committed to helping others, and he used his fame and fortune to support many important causes. Michael believed that music could change the world, and he worked hard to make that happen. One of his most famous charity projects was the song "We Are the World," which he co-wrote with Lionel Richie in 1985. The song was recorded by many of the biggest artists of the time, and the money raised went to help people who were suffering from hunger and poverty in Africa. "We Are the World" became a global anthem for charity and inspired people around the world to come together and make a difference. Michael also supported many other causes, including children's charities, healthcare, and the fight against AIDS. He visited hospitals, helped build children's hospitals, and donated millions of dollars to various organizations. He believed in using his platform to help those in need, and his charitable work touched the lives of millions of people. Michael Jackson showed the world that being famous didn't just mean enjoying the rewards of success, it meant using that success to help others. Michael's love for children was another important part of his legacy. He had a special place in his heart for children, and he did everything he could to make their lives better. He visited children in hospitals, gave money to build schools, and often spoke about the importance of giving children the opportunity to learn and grow. Michael also created the Heal the World Foundation, which was dedicated to helping children in need around the world. His love and care for children were evident in everything he did. In addition to his music, dance, and humanitarian work, Michael Jackson's fashion also became an important part of his legacy. He created iconic looks that became symbols of his style, such as the red leather jacket from the Thriller music video, the white glove, and the black fedora hat. These items became symbols of Michael Jackson's personality and creativity. Fans all over the world wanted to dress like him, and his style was copied by many. Michael Jackson was not just a musician, he was a trendsetter, and his influence on fashion was just as strong as his influence on music and dance. Michael's death in 2009 was a great loss to the world, but his legacy continues to live on. His music still plays on the radio, and his dance moves are still being copied. He remains a symbol of creativity, talent, and generosity. Michael Jackson showed the world that it is possible to achieve great things while also caring for others. He taught us that music, dance, and love can change the world, and his legacy will continue to inspire people for generations to come. Michael Jackson is remembered not only as the king of pop, but also as a humanitarian, a dancer, a fashion icon, and an artist who used his gifts to make the world a better place. His music, dance, and kindness will always be remembered, and his influence will never fade. Michael Jackson's legacy is one of greatness, and his story continues to inspire millions of people around the world every day. Michael Jackson's journey from a young boy in Gary, Indiana, to the king of pop is a story of incredible talent, hard work, and the pursuit of dreams. Michael's passion for music began early in his life, and with the support of his family, he rose to fame as a member of the Jackson 5. Despite his success with the group, Michael always dreamed of becoming a solo artist, and he worked hard to make that dream come true. He released groundbreaking albums like Off the Wall and Thriller, which not only brought him worldwide fame, but also changed the music industry forever. Michael's music was not just about entertainment. It carried powerful messages of love, peace, and unity. His songs like Heal the World and Man in the Mirror encouraged people to reflect on themselves and their actions, aiming to make the world a better place. His iconic dance moves, like the moonwalk, became legendary, influencing dancers and artists around the globe. But Michael's impact was not limited to music and dance. He also used his fame to support many charitable causes, particularly focusing on helping children, fighting hunger, and spreading kindness. Throughout his life, Michael faced many challenges, from the pressures of being a child star to the controversies that followed him as an adult. Despite these difficulties, he never gave up on his dreams. He showed the world that success doesn't come easily, and that achieving greatness requires hard work, perseverance, and the courage to be yourself. Michael's story teaches us that no matter where we come from, we can achieve great things if we stay true to ourselves and never stop working towards our goals. From Michael's life, we can learn the importance of following our dreams, even when the road is tough. He never let obstacles stop him from reaching his full potential, and this attitude helped him become one of the most influential figures in the world. Michael's journey also shows us the power of kindness and giving back. He used his success to help others, showing us that true greatness is not just about personal achievement, but also about making a positive impact on the world around us. As we reflect on Michael Jackson's life and legacy, let's remember the lessons he taught us: to work hard, to believe in ourselves, and to always look for ways to help others. Just like Michael, we can all make a difference in the world, no matter how big or small our actions may seem. Congratulations to you for listening to this story and improving your English listening and comprehension skills by hearing Michael Jackson's journey. You have not only learned about his life but also practiced your English in a fun and meaningful way. Keep up the great work. And remember, learning English is a journey that takes time and practice, just like any other skill. If you enjoyed this story and want to continue improving your English, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support encourages us to create more helpful and inspiring content. Thank you for being part of our learning community, and we look forward to bringing you more stories to help you grow your English skills.